Beautiful Saturday morning. You guys are back with Armchair Engineer 85. We're going to continue this V-twin project. I had to take about a week off just due to work and life and all that. Just got busy. And also I had to order a few parts that I was waiting on, but they're here. So we're going to get right into this. First thing we're going to install is I ordered a brand new vacuum hose here. Which is basically what powers the fuel pump. This is what whoever owned this engine before had on it. I don't know, it's just this like little metal valve, and they wrapped it in some fuel hose or something like that. And I'm pretty sure this isn't, I don't know if it's factory or whatever, I highly doubt it. Maybe it was just a makeshift thing to get them by, because when I looked up what they actually use, this was the part that they used. So now that the part is here, what I'm going to do is we're going to fit it in the top here, and that'll give us a nice reliable vacuum hose for our fuel pump. So I'll just have a quick look here what the part is. There's not much to it, and it's very cheap. It's only like $5. It's got this little nipple here that just slides in there. So I'm just gonna install this part, so hold on. Okay, so I got the little valve installed here. I'll just get a closer shot for you guys. It's not hard to get in. Like I said, you just have that one little rib section and you just put it in. This is pretty thin rubber, so it's easy to manipulate. You just start in, you get one side in, and then I just took a little flathead screwdriver, and you just want to be careful. You don't want to use anything that's sharp. And I had it on about a 45 degree, and I had about half of it in, and you just kind of slowly work your way and install the valve in, and it goes in fine. So here's our fuel pump here. We're not going to put this on now because we have to put the shroud on and everything, but just to show you guys, this is going to go like this, and then this valve here, this is what, I don't know if you can see it there because the hose is in the way. There we go. This vacuum here, pickup, this is going to go right in here, and that's going to give us a nice, reliable vacuum to power our fuel pump. And, even if this part wasn't cheap, I would still buy it, because it's a factory part. I like it. And you don't want to, there is a time where you can makeshift things, and then there's a time where it's like, you know what, just do it right, especially if a part's cheap, and then you'll know that you've got a reliable fuel pump source. Okay, so here's the big job of the day. When I bought this engine, I had no idea. Well, okay, let me first explain. The single cylinder engine that came with this, it had this right here. It's the throttle and choke all in one. So you can see here, here's your throttle. I know it's upside down right now. And when you want to choke, you went all the way forward to choke. And I always thought that was a stupid system, because when the engine's cold and you're choking it, when you want to pull it out of choke, you have to basically, you have it in wide open throttle. Even for a brief moment, you can see here, bunny mode, that's the top one. And yeah, even for a brief moment, I was like, over time that'll be hard on your engine, and that'll surely take a bit of life out of it, or maybe it's over 5-6 years or whatever. But so anyways, when I bought this V-twin, I assumed it was the same thing, but I did start looking at it and thinking to myself, well, why is there two cables here? You have a cable here and you have a cable here. And what I came to learn is that it is one is for your choke and one is for your throttle, the way it should be. So in order to operate this system, I had to go ahead, track down, and order this, the John Deere twin throttle and choke lever. So that was another reason why I had to wait on this. It came with these cables, and these cables were actually installed right out of the box. The problem with these cables is they are too short for my application. I have to go underneath here, and yeah, I have to basically attach them underneath here, and you can see that they're just not going to be long enough for what I need. But the good thing, what I have is, when I bought this motor, it came with the cables, the factory cables that the guy sold them. They're still attached down here. So that's what we're going to take care of today. The big thing is we have to perform a bit of surgery here. We have to take this handle out, and then we have to cut in a new hole here for this one. Make sure it's square, make sure it's mounted right. So that's what we're into today. This is going to be a big one. This will probably take maybe even longer than it took to install the whole engine. So let's get at it. Okay, so we got our lever here, and I'm just going to show you guys up here. I took the liberty of loosening these two 8mm bolts that hold it on here. It's in a bit of a tight spot, not the greatest, so I just took the liberty there to loosen those off. So anyways. Okay, so after we remove those two bolts, all you have to do to get your lever out is this just, whoop, there you go, pops right off. You just pop the top off there, and then the main metal hardware slides out the bottom. Okay, so here's the point of view that I'll be looking at when I install my new double lever action here. You know, before you do anything, especially before you make any cuts, you always want to consider you know, where the lever is going to fall. It's going to, as you can see here, it'll fall definitely underneath the steering wheel, and this is going to go down even further. It's going to recess when I install it here. Here was the location, obviously, of the old one. So what I'm going to do here is, this is contoured in here. It doesn't sit flat. It would kind of be nicer if it did. But if you look at this right here, this contouring almost matches the contouring of this right here. So my whole plan is going to be to do the best I can to line this up so that it matches and snaps in ever so nice in the contouring here. So I've got this, like I said, if this sat flat, this would be really nice, but obviously they can't do that with the mechanism. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trace out this rectangular shape here into here, and then I'm going to have to cut it out, and if all goes right, it'll snap in, and then I'm going to have to screw into the outsides on each four corner. I'm gonna have to get some like screw in with a bolt and nut and to hold this down. But so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trace our shape here next. Okay, so I had a good idea. I disassembled my double throw switch here. It's not very hard to do. You have basically one single Phillips head screw here, and then there's two snaps, one up here, and they just go like that, clunk, and they come apart. Things fit better when this is all together. It's a little loose right now, but trust me, when everything's in there, especially when the cables are in there, things fit nice. So my idea is I'm going to make a template, and what I did was I got my box here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this here, and I'm just going to basically trace this this piece here, and then cut it out, and then when I have enough of it cut out, it'll sit flat, and then I can get the base plate shape, and then I'll cut that out with scissors, and I'll be able to take it over to my lawn tractor, and I'll be able to basically line up the shape perfect so that it's not crooked, it's not angled, and it's going to sit nice with the beveled piece. So this is what I have so far. I basically took this right here, and I traced around it like so. You can see that this part here is circular, so it's going to come out further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my first trace section here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just slowly going to, as I put it in and as it starts sitting down, I'll just mark, and I'll just keep tracing and cutting back because I want to get the tightest fit that I can. Okay, there's the beginning of it, and as you can see, it's sitting in the hole here. So now what I'll do is I'll just come along here, and I'm just going to increase this line out to here. And that's all I'll do. And I'll just keep doing this and just keep backing it off until eventually it sits flush. All right, and there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's all there was to it. Like I said, all I kept doing was just, and I used an X-Acto knife. I found it better than scissors. And just a perfect little rectangular shape, nice tight tolerances. And I'll be able to take this now. I'm still not done with making my template, but now that I've got this, I can move forward. Simple, easy. This will do a nice, cleaner cut. Okay, got her traced out. Now let's cut it out. Our finished product. I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just trim out this middle section a little bit, because what I have to do is I have to flip this over. Well, actually, that's what it's going to look like there, but I'll trim it out a bit because I want to get the most accurate. One thing I wanted to say, if you use a black magic marker like I did, always do your best to, I believe it's called the kerf, which is like a term in carpentry. Like when you make a mark, it's like always try you know, not to cut on the line or on the wrong side of the line, but on the inside of it to get your most accurate measurement. So I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit, and I'll show you guys what I got in store for it. Okay, so now that I got my template made, I can now line it up with the contour here. And as you can see, there's already a problem that I've got my my deck lever here that activates the cutting deck is in the way. This sits up here, and that won't sit like flush, it'll be bent like so. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm basically gonna have to notch this out so that it'll slide this way and notch around this lever here, but then I'm gonna have to compare it with the original plastic plate to see that I can do that. Because my whole goal is, like I said here, I want it to sit nice and flush right here, and there's no really, like I got the steering column in the way here. If I go up here, obviously now I'm, you know, this isn't flat here. If it was, this would be so much easier. Even this side here, like it really wouldn't work. And you know, all the mechanisms are down here, the natural path of the cables. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm just going to double check with the actual plastic piece that I will be able to notch this out. And if I am able to notch it out, then I'm going to notch this out so that I can keep sliding it this way. So for the sake of the accuracy of my template, what I'm doing is I've disconnected the deck lever here so that I can get around where I need to be. I'll show you here what I got into, and it just wasn't working out. But anyways, all it is this little hole here has a cotter key in it. The lever slides in here, and the cotter key lines up with the hole in there, and that's all that locks into place. Easy peasy. There's your cable. So let's get back at it. Okay, so here's why I removed the lever. When I did the template here, I tried to trace it out, and it wasn't working out, and I thought this is going to end up horrible. I wish I didn't even do this. I should have done this right from the beginning. But so what I'm going to do is now I can accurately get my template, and I can kind of adjust it where I need it. Obviously, I want to keep it as far away from this curve as I can, but then I don't want to overcrowd this hole here too much or into the steering column. So I got to kind of play with it. You can already see here where my other cut would be, how different it would be if I were to have used that. So anyways, I'm just going to play with this, and I will get a shape going here. Okay, so this shape, the one to the left, that's the one I'm going to be using, not this one here. So now it's time to start cutting, the scary part.